G'day guys, ChampChong here with a different type of video today because instead of talking about video games, I'm going to make it a little more personal and give you guys my story of my weight loss journey. Normally I don't really talk about myself on this channel, however the other day I posted a photo and a bit of my story and details of my weight loss journey, and a lot of you guys were interested in seeing a video with more detail. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video even though it's a bit different, and hopefully I can inspire someone out there that may be having a tough time with their weight or just having a tough time with their life in general. So before we do get into my story, here are a few details. I'm currently 23 years old and I weigh 98 kilos right now. If you're wondering, I'm about 6'3" or 6'4". I think I'm 193 centimeters there somewhere. I used to weigh 114 kilos at my heaviest, which was about 3 or 4 months ago when I started dropping the weight. And now, as I said, I'm at 98 kilos, which is not my end goal, but I'm proud of where I am right now. My end goal is probably about 94 kilos and then build a little bit of muscle, maybe to 97 kilos after I've hit that 94 kilo goal. But anyway, those are my details. I dropped 14 kilos and I'm still losing more weight. I'm 98 kilos right now at 193 centimeters, or 6'3", 6'4", somewhere there, and I'm 23 years old. But anyway, now let's get into my story. It actually begins a few years ago because all my life I was an active kid. I played sports, basketball, Aussie rules, whatnot, you know, pretty much everything going on with my life. It was always active. However, back in 2011, my life changed for the positive because I became a full-time YouTuber, but on the negative side, it wasn't that good on my body because I was so sedentary all of a sudden. Instead of me moving around like I did all the time at school or at my apprenticeship for the year out after school, I was on the computer all day doing what I loved and still what I love to this day, making videos. The issue is, after about 6 to 9 months of doing this full-time, I noticed a change with my body. I put on a few kilos and I wasn't too happy with that. But the thing is, me being me and focusing on my videos and my career, I was like, I think I'll just, I'll lose the weight next week. And then I'd say that the next week, and then the next week. And I didn't really focus on my diet at all. I was eating anything and everything. Seriously, one of my biggest problems was my diet. And on top of that, my job entails that I travel a lot. And in 2011, I started traveling around the world and it was incredible. I got to go to game events, YouTube events, all these kind of meetings with game companies and all that. And they'd take you out and we'd have amazing dinners and stuff, and I was just eating whatever I wanted. I didn't look at my diet at all. The only real activity I got was when I was back home, which was like 40 minutes a week when I'd play basketball. Seriously, 40 minutes a week, it just wasn't enough, and it isn't enough for anyone out there thinking that's enough. And that's how I ended up stacking on more and more weight, and this continued all the way until 2014. Fast forward to June 2014, I was at E3 in Los Angeles and I was having the time of my life. However, once the event was over, I flew back to Australia and the first thing I got on my phone was a text from my mum telling me to come straight home to her house. I knew something was wrong at that point since my dad was already battling cancer since October the previous year, and I thought maybe, just maybe, I'd get to say goodbye or something like that. Sadly, this just wasn't the case, and I came home to find my mum and sister telling me the most terrible news of my life. My dad had passed away and lost his battle to cancer while I was on my trip in E3, and it was the toughest news, and I can't even think about it right now. I honestly didn't know how to deal with it. It's still, like, I don't even know how to deal with it today, but at the time I was so shocked. I just started eating and not caring about my life, my body, none of it. After a few months, I'd gotten to my heaviest and I tipped the scale at just over 114 kilos. I pretty much lost the passion for everything. YouTube was almost impossible for me to do. It's still pretty hard to this day, but one of my biggest passions, basketball, was almost just completely out of my life. I just had no love for it anymore. And that's part of the reason why I started putting on so much weight. I just wasn't active at all. I'd sit at home, I'd eat anything and everything. I was honestly just in a really dark place at that time, probably the darkest place I'll ever be in my entire life, and I didn't know how to get out of it until I kind of looked at my life and I looked at my dad's life and I took him as an inspiration. I made the best out of the worst. Yes, he had passed away, but I thought if he died at under 60 years old, I don't want to do the same myself. I then instead decided to change my life around and do something for the positive and take that negative and crush it and just make my life, turn it around, do whatever I could to become healthy again. I wanted to see myself become a young and healthy man. I wanted to live over 60, 70, maybe even 80 years of age. And this is where I decided to step up and take some action and change my life. It was around November of last year that this happened, and thanks to my friends who really helped me, and thanks to my family who also supported me throughout all this, I ended up changing my entire diet. One of the biggest things in my life I've noticed is my diet, and once I changed that, I noticed a change right away. No more chocolate, no more potato chips, no more takeout, none of that stuff. I'm yet to even have a potato chip to this day. I can't even remember what it tastes like, and I don't care, I don't want one. And I will get to what my diet is like very soon, but one of the key things that helped me actually stay on track was an app called MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal is an app that you can get on your phone, and I'm not being sponsored to say this or anything like that, but it tracks your calorie intake and outtake and all that stuff. I kind of treated it like a video game because that's pretty much how I treat everything in life. I see goals and I hit them like a video game. I want to get the high score. You know what I mean if you're a gamer. So I set myself a goal of about, I don't know, 1800 calories a day of eating, and that's all that I ate, and it was fine. It was a bit tough at the start, obviously, because I was used to, you know, eating a lot more, but once I transitioned that first week or so, it was kind of easy, I guess. Now, on top of using MyFitnessPal for my diet, I ended up also tracking my exercises, which was really awesome. I ended up doing a big thing known as Jacob's Ladder here in Perth. Basically, it's a massive staircase, 250 steps or something like that. I would go up and down that, and on the first try I ever did, I failed. I was awful. I got up to the top, but I was out of breath, so out of shape, and it was miserable. I was sweating like I had never seen myself sweat before, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. But over the next few weeks, I had ended up just going up and down, up and down. Obviously, I'd take a bit of a break when I get to the top, but I'd go back down, I'd go back up, go back down. I think my best was close to 10 somewhere. So that's basically over 2,000 steps, somewhere like that, and it was an incredible feeling once you get to the top and you're like, I'm feeling, you know, you feel something, that you've achieved something really great. I just treated it like a video game, just like I had been with my diet and everything, because that's how I saw it, and that's how I saw it as a possibility to achieve my goals. Now, on top of Jacob's Ladder and my diet, a lot of things were in there, like walking, trying to get as much of that in, running, doing bike riding, things like that. I didn't really use a gym at all. And one of the best things coming out of all this is that now I felt something in my body that I hadn't felt in a while, and that was the passion for basketball again, and I felt like I could come back, be better than I ever was, and now I think I am at that point. I feel great, I eat great, or I think I try to eat great, and that's what I wanted to get to earlier, but I'm getting to right now, and that's my diet and what my daily intake looks like. Obviously, it's not the same every single day, but I have wheat Bix for breakfast with some skim milk. I usually have about 6 biscuits, and I cut up 1 banana, put it in there, and I cut up 1 strawberry, put it in there, and it looks amazing. I've actually posted photos to Instagram before. And then for lunch, I have anything that's, you know, pretty good in protein for the day. So I get myself maybe, you know, some chicken, some turkey, some of that stuff. And then for dinner, I end up having myself, you know, lamb or steak or something, you know, that's gonna really fill me up so I don't have to eat at the night time. So yeah, that's basically my daily diet. Obviously, it changes every single day, but let's get back to my story itself. I actually ended up losing a bit of my motivation when the new year kicked in. I was like stuck on a certain weight. I think it was at about 102 kilos or something like that. And I was like, how am I going to get past this? And I just started losing motivation. I didn't really want that to happen, and I couldn't stop myself from losing motivation. I didn't know where to go from this point, and that's when my birthday kicked around. The 18th of January 2015. My mum and my sister come over and they have a present for me. It's this. It's a Fitbit Charge. They got me this as a gift after seeing how much dedication I put into my diet, into my fitness and all that stuff. And it was actually an amazing surprise. They didn't know it at the time, but I was starting to lose that motivation, as I said. And with them coming in just at the right time with this Fitbit Charge, it tracks my steps, it tracks my calorie burning, it tracks everything I do each day, all my activities. And with that, I kind of treated that like a video game as I did with everything beforehand. I was like, oh, I have to hit this daily goal of steps, I have to hit this daily goal taller staircases, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do it all, and I have to hit that each single day. So yeah, I finally broke through that barrier of sitting about 102, 103 kilos, and now I've lost another 5 kilos since the 18th of January or something around there, and now I'm sitting at about 97 or 98 kilos, which I'm really proud of. So yeah, that now gets us to this point in my life where I'm sitting here making this video. I'm yet to actually hit my goal of 94 kilos and then build a bit of muscle, but I'm almost there. I've hit under 100 kilos, which was my first goal. I really wanted to hit that, and I'm really proud of that now. And hopefully I've inspired someone out there that is really having some tough time with their weight or with their life. Because you have to look at the long road ahead and take little steps right now to get there. You have to turn the negatives into the positives. I had like the biggest negative of my life, and I tried to turn that into a positive, and I'm trying to keep on doing it right now. So yes, hopefully my story has inspired someone out there that is having a tough time. You can do it, seriously. You just put your mind to it. If you're a gamer, treat it like a video game and see what your results will be. If you have any questions, if you need any support, you guys can message me or tweet me or something like that. That's the best way, honestly. Twitter, just tweet me if you're having a tough time with your life or with your weight. I'll be there for you guys, because I know how tough it is, and it's one of those things that everyone fights through in one of their life. You know, if you're down just in life, or if you're down and you're having a tough time with your weight. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully I inspired someone, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.